Welcome back to the Freaky Fauna Files podcast. We're your hosts, the chicken
and the egg,
where the eternal question always remains. Which one comes first?
Hi, I'm the egg, and I'm going to go first today. We're going to make you rethink everything you know about sex.
Ooh.
So take some tips from the animal kingdom. Join us for some freaky sex as we uncover some weird reproduction strategies from the seahorse and the anglerfish.
And hey, don't forget to follow us on social media at Freaky Fauna Files. We have finally figured out how to attach everything, so you can now find us on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Facebook for pictures and links of the fauna that we discuss today and on every episode. You can also email us at info@freakyfaunafiles.com with questions for our next Audience Asks episode. Before the egg kicks us off, I do have some very sad news. So I regret to announce that Miss Charlotte, the stingray that we have been following, has unfortunately died.
Oh!
I know. R.I.P. Hopefully she's up there in
Stingray
the
heaven.
Rainbow Ocean.
Yeah.
Rainbow Ocean, I
Yeah.
guess, is where she would be. No longer in an aquarium. But she died on June 2nd, 2024, and she succumbs to her reproductive disease, which is very unfortunate. Very unfortunate. The aquarium said she was believed to be pregnant with 3 to 4 pups last winter, actually, due to parthenogenesis.
Vocab word.
Big vocab word. And she was due in February, but somehow miscarried?
Was she ever pregnant?
Yeah, I guess that's truly the question. Was she pregnant, or was her reproductive disease mislabeled as pregnancy the whole time? Like,
good question.
Were there 3 to 4 pups? Who knows? The world will never know because she is gone. So, R.I.P.
R.I.P.
Sad
Charlotte.
news to kick off the podcast.
Very much.
But let's dive in.
All right, I'm going to kick us off with the seahorse. So to
Ooh.
begin, the seahorse belongs to the hippocampus genus. Hippo means horse, and campos means sea monster or sea animal. So they really are just a little seahorse.
Cute.
There are 46 species. That's a lot. Fun fact, the hippocampus is also a portion of a mammal brain that is responsible for memory, learning, and emotion.
Wait, you said 46 species?
Yeah.
I had no idea there were that many.
I know, right?
I thought there were like 3.
Well, actually, they are highly modified and evolutionized pipefish. If you've never seen a pipefish, think of a pipe cleaner that has teeny tiny little fins. They are just long and skinny. There's nothing to them but a teeny tiny pipe. So seahorses specifically evolved to be in more shallow waters where plants are growing. So that's why they evolved their little tail. They got to get something to hold on to. So pipefish stay more in like submerged waters where there's something to swim around in, while the seahorse drifted towards the shoreline. So to start off with a little bit of mythology, in Greek mythology, the seahorse is depicted more literally with a mermaid's tail and a horse's upper body.
Ugh.
They are often full size, like full horse size, and they are green and blue scales with fin-like arms instead of hoof-like arms. You know what I mean?
Yeah, aren't they? Do they have another name other than seahorses? I feel like I've seen them in like monster movies or something, but not maybe monster movies, but like fantasy movies.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I don't know. Ancient fishermen told stories of how seahorses are actually Poseidon's mighty steeds.
Oh, cool.
I don't know what they're going to be.
Oh, like in SpongeBob. I feel like Neptune has the seahorses as like his reigning.
Yeah, it pulls his little chariot.
Yeah,
you're right.
Yeah, nice.
They symbolize hope for sailors that have to endure long journeys across the open sea.
That's cool.
So that is cute.
So seahorses are kind of lucky.
Yeah,
Awesome.
so. To get into their habitat, like I said, they live in shallow tropical waters like seagrass, bays and estuaries, coral reefs, and mangroves. They choose a habitat that has vegetation to cling onto because they are horrendous swimmers and they're teeny tiny, so any current can just wash them away.
Yeah, I've been diving, and they're one of the harder things to spot. So like when you finally see a seahorse, it's super satisfying. And the like dive sign that we do, it's literally like we're galloping.
Seahorse.
Like we're like galloping
Seahorse.
underwater. Yeah, you'll like make really loud noise and like make a galloping thing and you try to spot it, and they are super camouflaged.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I've seen brown ones and yellow ones, and yeah, they're almost always clinging on to some type of coral, some type of, like, blade of grass. And I have seen them in, like, an extreme current, like, not be able to grab one. And so I actually have video of that, too. Oh, that'd be cool to post. I have a video of it, and it's just kind of drifting along with the current, trying to reattach to something else.
Yeah, there's not much else they can do.
And they are not efficient swimmers. No, not at all.
They got a head and a neck, right? That is similar to a horse. They have an upright posture, which is different from most body plans of these fish. They have a sort of body armor, which I'm going to talk about later, and a curled prehensile tail, which is fancy terms for it's not quite a tail yet in the way that you think of tail, but it is an organ that is kind of stuck in the curled position, and it's used to link onto a blade of grass.
I wonder, like, chameleons.
Yeah.
I wonder.
Well, do chameleon tails not stretch out? Are they always curled? So we just asked the farmer. He is in charge of the chicken and the egg.
That's a good one.
He had 2 chameleons with the chicken and what did he say? He said they're not always curled?
No, they're not.
Okay.
Yeah. No. So I was wrong.
Okay, so they're only about half an inch or 1.5 centimeters. And get this, the biggest species of seahorse is a foot long.
What the?
Or 35 centimeters. Have you ever seen a foot long seahorse?
That's like your forearm.
Yeah.
How does he camouflage? Where is he hiding? Where are these guys hiding? I would like to see one.
I don't know.
What the heck? Because the ones I've seen have always been like,
they're like the size of
maybe
your
6 inches.
Hand?
Yeah, your hand, your phone.
Most
like,
of them are just boop.
They're tiny guys. Oh, and they're like the pygmy ones over in, like Thailand and all of over there.
Yeah, teeny tiny.
Big babies.
I thought this was super interesting. They do not have scales, but rather a very thin skin that stretches over bony plates.
Ooh.
So think of it like really thin skin over body armor, and that's how they get that like plated look.
That's cool because like they definitely don't look smooth, and I wondered what it would feel like to touch it. So
it would probably feel like
pretty
touching
hard.
a sponge,
Touching
except for
a
hard.
sponge?
Like a
Yeah.
hard coral.
Oh, okay,
sponge.
that could make sense. Yeah, because it kind of looks spiky.
I bet they
like
would.
some of them. Yeah,
they're
it's
very
like the armor comes and juts out to a point.
geometrical. Yeah.
Very satisfying too.
yeah.
Yeah, very satisfying looking.
And fun fact, over the course of evolution, their bony outer skin / plates have become so rigid in order to protect the body from predators that they de-evolved a rib cage.
Oh,
Which obviously,
they said, step back.
a rib cage for humans is a bone plate to protect your squishies, but since their skin has become so like specialized at protecting their squishies, they no longer need a rib cage. So
That's crazy. I bet a bunch of girls and guys, honestly, are jealous because you know how with plastic surgery, some people will like remove,
they
their
remove
lower
ribs.
Yeah, to get that
Make
defined.
me a seahorse.
Yeah, like what if
Snatched.
if that's the next body image? Like that's the goal. Let me have a seahorse snatched rib cage.
waist. So, you know how I said that they are terrible swimmers? Well, they have teeny tiny fins on the side of their bodies, like your arms. And so they just wiggle those the bestest they can. And they steer with pectoral fins located behind the head. So that's the only sort of movement that they have. One that kind of steers in the back like a rudder, and 2 on the side that just wiggle the bestest that they can. And fun fact number 2, the dwarf seahorse is the slowest moving fish in the entire world. They move at 5 feet or 1.5 meters per hour. That's so tiny! Imagine how small you have to be to only go 5 feet in an hour.
Well, especially in the ocean.
Yeah.
Like how slow are you moving? 5 feet per hour. Oh my god, that's like taking a step and waiting.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
An hour.
Yeah, that's crazy. Could not be me. And it's like the ocean is so vast. Like they could probably take forever to find a mate. Those pygmy guys?
Yeah, I mean, your entire lifespan is just probably the size of like a room, you know? That's your max range.
Yeah, I bet once they're born, they don't stray too far from that.
Well, at that point, you just gotta rely on the currents. Like, what do you mean you can only go 5 feet? Like, the ocean moves faster than that.
Definitely.
So, because they're so tiny, they only eat small crustaceans like shrimp, snails, larval fish, eggs, and copepods. And they have that long and skinny snout that they kind of just, like little...
Tweezers?
Yeah, sure. I was going to say, what's that dropper thing that you use that you squeeze in it?
Like a pipette?
Yeah. Kind of like a pipette. They just kind of suck whatever's floating around the ocean.
Kind of like a straw, like...
And they do not have a stomach. They lack a stomach, so whatever they eat just kind of sits in there, gets digested, and then it just goes right back out.
So no ribs.
No ribs, no stomach.
No stomach. Okay.
They're just babies.
They're just floating around, I guess.
I guess. So, without further ado, let's get into the freaky sex.
Ooh.
So, reproduction. To signal the breeding phase, a male and a female will enter into a courtship, and they will have to synchronize their reproductive system. So everybody's on a different phase, like the female might not be ready, but the male is like, yeah, I'm ready.
I'm ready. So it's actually the males who are ready, and the females are like, I can wait.
Well, so they both have to be ready to mate. So they have
Consent.
to come to... Consent is always the answer.
Yes, especially when talking about freaky sex.
Right. So their courtship begins with a series of changes, I'll say. They might change color. They kind of dance side to side. And my favorite part, they begin to hold tails and spin in a circle like a carousel. Maybe that's why carousels always have seahorse animals.
Maybe. Yeah.
Aren't there always seahorses, or is that just the one I grew up with?
I feel like there are seahorses, but I feel like they're seahorses more like the mythology. Like, I feel like I've seen, like, a horse head and mermaid tail on a carousel before.
No,
you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like it's more of that. But that's cute as shit. So they literally just hook tails and twirl around in a little...
yeah.
It's like they're twirling their girl.
Oh, that's so cute! Me and who? Who wants to twirl?
Me and who?
So they get about 8 hours of foreplay.
Oh, wow.
Before...
I'm sure they're nice and primed by the time. 8 hours. Lucky lady.
They do this little dancey dance, color change, spin in a circle for 8 hours.
Wow.
Before they move on to the next stage.
It's a lot of energy, too.
Yeah. Where the male will pump water through his pouch so that it expands, it opens up, and it signals to the female it's empty.
Oh.
So he pumps it with water, it opens up, and she goes, what?
For
it's
me?
For me? My eggs? So this is a signal to the female to insert her ovipositor, which is like a tube-like reproductive organ, so like a female version of a penis.
Okay.
And think of like when a hummingbird or a bee or a butterfly goes to stick their thing into a flower. Yeah.
It kind of wiggles down.
Oh,
so, like their proboscis, right? I think that's a technical term for that.
So the female will insert her ovipositor into the male's pouch and lay anywhere from 10 to thousands of eggy wiggies.
Excuse me?
Tens of thousands to eggy wiggies.
What a range.
Yeah.
What a range. I wonder what determines that range. Like, at what point...
How good the foreplay was.
Oh, yeah. Maybe if it's, like, only a few minutes, you get 10 eggs.
You get 10 eggs.
You get 10 eggs. Your genes
good luck
are
being
not...
a father.
Yeah. Good luck having your genes pass on with those odds, mister.
If it was really good, she's like, dang, I want to make so many babies with you.
Yeah, she's like, I need more.
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 So inside the pouch, sperm will be released so that her eggs and sperm will mix and they will create little zygotes. And they only incubate for 10 to 25 days.
Oh, that's really short, actually.
So the sperm-egg mixture also mixes with seawater to create a nice ambient temperature. They incubate in there like a little oven, and then they hatch inside the pouch, get used to the salt and water content before he opens up his pouch, and he kind of does that little, like, thrusting birth thing where just, like, thousands of
I feel like I've seen a video of it. It looks like he's
he's doing crunches. He's like, wait.
And he's just, like, pooting them out.
Yeah, he, like, poots out
it's like
thousands of babies.
I recommend a video. Go look it up. Seahorse male birth on YouTube. I bet you can find it.
So it is incorrect to say that male seahorses get pregnant because these bebés are not attached through a placenta or any sort of like feeding tube. They are simply
parasites.
a vessel for the eggs. So it's like kangaroo pouch. They're just growing in there. They're not attached, so the man is not pregnant. He's just being a nest.
Does the baby seahorse also crawl up and suckle on the teat like the kangaroo?
No, that man is
does.
useless. All he is an oven.
He's a
for
meat
these
sack.
eggs.
Well, that actually can be kind of the theme for our episode too. Is useless male.
Useless
mates.
males? Okay.
One job and one job only. Oven.
So male seahorses stick around for a few days to protect the bebés once they're born, and then they're on their own. So they do get a teeny tiny bit parental protection.
Okay, that's good. That's pretty
not
impressive.
Just a dine and dash.
Especially considering they are sea creatures.
Yeah.
Most sea organisms, there's almost no parental care because you can't. You know, you're producing so many a lot of the times that it's just survival of the fittest.
Yeah.
Whoever does the best, those genes are gonna go.
Mm-hmm. So usually only about 100 to 1,000 seahorses are born, and only 0.5% survive into adulthood. So anywhere
Wow.
from 1 to 5 seahorses out of 100 to 1,000 seahorses make it to adulthood.
Yep, and that's why they do it.
So here's where it gets interesting, and I'm going to break it down on why evolution chose to use males instead
Yeah,
of
because that is
females.
odd. Like they
It is
are
very odd.
They are, I feel like, one of the few species. Do you know any other species off the top of your head that does that? I don't either.
No.
They're like the male will take care of the offspring a lot in some
Yeah.
cases, but
Not incubating the way that...
the way that the seahorse does.
Yeah, no.
It's like, and the woman's gone. Like the female
Oh,
is
yeah, no,
gone.
she's
like,
gone.
She's like, take my babies, peace.
I'll tell you why.
Peace out. All right.
So male seahorse contractions begin at night so that by the morning he's ready to mate again. No 6-week waiting period for them.
Whoa.
Male
He's just ready to
seahorse
go.
contractions begin at night so by the morning they're ready. With the same female. They are monogamous.
Oh, cute. So it really is.
The female's over here resting because she just put all that energy into making all of these eggs. And so she's doing her thing, living her life for, 10 to 25 days while he's cooking. And then he comes back and she goes, "Oh, you ready again?"
You ready again? Oh, that's cool. I definitely did not know that they were monogamous. But that makes sense, especially for the one that is really small, that could go really slow.
He said, "Find a man. I'm gonna keep you for life.
He's like,
Don't ever leave me,
yeah, that's funny.
my soulmate." So scientifically,
One and done, baby.
why are the roles reversed? According to Bateman's principle, which states that males invest significantly less energy in producing sperm than females do in producing eggs, this makes it more energetically costly for a female to make eggs and get pregnant and give birth.
True.
So, what seahorses do is that males are already at a lower energy production in producing these sperms, so why not use them during the gestation period or the pregnancy period so that they can put more energy into these bebés than the female can. It leads to shorter reproduction cycles. So like I said, it only takes 10 to 25 days to cook them overnight, and then he's ready. So it takes females a lot longer to make more eggs. So while the male is cooking, she's making more eggs, and by the time he's birthed them, he's ready for another. So you have a way higher reproduction cycle and offspring rate. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay. Hear me out. What if?
That never starts. Hear me out.
What if we did that?
I would be down. I would be down.
Like, I already have these eggs. Like, let's.
I already get a period. Why can't he get pregnant?
Yeah. Like, they were saying female. The farmer just looked over with ultimate disgust in his face.
Shut up, farmer.
Yeah. Just sit there. Just sit there.
The roles are reversed because it's more time and energetically efficient to have the males get pregnant while the females take a break and they're ready to go again.
Yeah, go for it. Go for it, female seahorses. They have hacked the system.
They really have.
They no longer have to put in all of the footwork.
They need all the energy to spin in a circle for 8 hours.
Yes. That's so 8 hours.
8 hours.
8 hours. Like, how come everything in the animal world is so like long? Like the burrowing of the anything takes 4 to 6 hours.
Oh, yeah. I still don't understand that. Why does your lizard need that many hours to make a 6-inch hole? Like the turtles. The sea turtles do that too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I mean, why does it take the little seahorse an hour to move 5 feet? Sometimes things just aren't as efficient as they could be. I think that's how it goes.
Well, there you go. That's all I have on seahorses and their freaky sex.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Super freaky. Yeah.
I will let the chicken take over with the anglerfish.
Yeah, I'm glad that you covered that because I feel like everybody, or not everybody, but a lot of people know that the male seahorses are the like pregnant ones, but we don't know
fact, you know?
You don't know how.
Did you know male seahorses? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, now you do. And you can tell them about...
At your parties.
Hypothetical parties we talk about
all the time because I'm sure everyone is just as social as we are
with these animal fun facts
and our board games.
Yeah,
I literally brought cards for us to play today too.
I was about to say, tell them what we're gonna do after we finish recording.
Yeah, we're gonna play. What is it?
Exploding Kittens.
Yeah. Shout out to the Netflix show. I've been watching that. It's been pretty good. All right, time to talk about the anglerfish. So the anglerfish is known as Lophius piscatorius, and it was first described by Carl Linnaeus. You can't see me. He's everywhere. I cannot escape Linnaeus.
It's always
every
you,
animal.
Though. None of mine.
I know. I don't. I'm saying I am cursed. Linnaeus.
You're over there going.
Me.
Animals founded by
I know.
Carl Linnaeus.
By Carl Linnaeus. To be fair, he did name a lot of them.
I mean, yeah,
he did.
Linnaeus taxonomy.
He is literally the father of taxonomy. So, okay. So, Lophius means mane, probably referring to their spines that they have on their first dorsal fin. And piscatorius means of fishing, which is a reference to that first dorsal spine being used as a sort of modified fishing rod.
Oh, I didn't know it was attached to the spine.
Oh, yeah. We'll get into it. I'll talk about that a little bit later when we get into kind of biology, the prey, predators, all that. Actually, there's not a lot of predators. Anyways, they have nicknames such as the sea devil or the monkfish. There's not much lore or mythology that I could find on them other than a Greek poet named Oppian, naming it the day sleeper because it sleeps a lot during the day. Yeah.
Creative.
Yes. Yeah. Genius. There is some spiritual significance, which is also shocking. The anglerfish will actually symbolize the unseen world, navigating darkness, and luring energy. So maybe...
Luring energy, is that a pun?
Yeah, I feel like it has to be. It has to
Let's play the game of, do you identify as an anglerfish for your spiritual animal?
What was the other spirit? Was it the...
That's so stupid.
Was it the harp? It wasn't the harpy.
Was it?
No, it was the pelican. The brown pelican. Oh, yeah.
Let's play the game of, do you identify as brown pelican?
So if you currently have a spirit animal that is an anglerfish or a brown pelican, please message us. I would like to meet you.
I would love to meet you.
Yes, I would like to see.
What does a brown pelican in a human form look like?
I have no idea. Please show us. So for their habitat, they primarily live in the Mediterranean minus the Black Sea. They'll dwell in the Atlantic and the North and Baltic Seas as well. They prefer soft and sandy substrates, and they will be found in like a wide depth range from anywhere from like 10 meters all the way to 1,000 meters down.
10?
Yeah, so you can find them
shallow. I thought of them as like deep,
only deep
depths.
sea. Yeah,
yes.
No. So there's like a wide range, and so right now I'm talking anglerfish kind of as a whole. There are different species and genuses that kind of have different lifestyles.
Okay.
So I'm kind of talking about them as a whole. I do get into some particular ones later on, but yeah, it's a wide range. You can find them all over the place. So 10 meters to 1,000 meters down, they can be found, shallow and deep sea. And I do want to point out just how intense it is for them in the deep sea. So every 10 meters or 33 feet, pressure will increase by about 1 atmosphere. So if you think about that, at 1,000 meters, they are roughly 380 times the pressure that we experience here on the surface.
And you said they have spine, so they're bony fish?
No, they're pretty, they're bony fish, but they're pretty
still
fleshy.
squish?
Yeah,
Okay,
they're
okay,
pretty
okay,
squishy.
okay.
Yeah, they're very squishy. And I talk a little bit about how they survive those depths in biology, which I'll get to actually right now. Right now. So their length will vary, of course, just like any creature, from about 1 to 7 inches or 2 to 18 centimeters. Some can grow up to 100 centimeters or 39 inches.
Wait, 12, 24.
Yeah, that's
Ew,
3 feet. 3 feet, dude.
That's a big
And
ass
some
fish.
change. Yeah. We were talking about that foot seahorse. That's also still disturbing to me.
Yeah.
But a 3-foot anglerfish, cannot. So
It's huge.
it actually can be pretty big. And the larger anglerfish are able to reach such lengths primarily due to the sexual dimorphism that they exhibit. And
What's that mean?
I'm glad you asked. Sexual dimorphism basically means that the males and females look different. In a nutshell, that's what it is. In the anglerfish case, there is extreme sexual dimorphism, with the females being massive and the males being little babies.
Get wrecked.
Little babies. Like, when I say little, like, it's not even proportional. It's not even like a 6'2" girl dating like a 5'2" guy. No, it's like really unproportional.
Short king.
He is barely there. He is barely there. Despite being so small, as we touched on, they're able to withstand these bone-crushing pressures and freezing temperatures of the deep sea. And there are numerous features that aid them in this, while they're kind of just hanging around at these seemingly inhospitable depths. Some of these features will include piezolytes, and these are organic molecules that will increase the space that the proteins take up in the cells. And this extra space will actually counteract the weight of the water, preventing their proteins and cells from being crushed. They also have trimethylamine N oxide, or TMAO, which further stabilizes the protein and protects them against the high pressures. So essentially what they'll do is they'll fill up their fleshy bodies with water, and that counteracts the pressure.
To withstand the water, become the water.
Yes.
Okay.
To fill with water. No, they fill up with water to beat the water, essentially.
Okay.
Most anglerfish species also have a really wide mouth. That's kind of like the Joker mouth on steroids. It reaches all around the front of their head, and of course, it has to have teeth. Right? Of course. So it is lined with bands of inward-facing teeth on both of its jaws. So the inward-facing teeth is really beneficial to them because if you think about it, whenever they're swallowing prey, the inward laying teeth can just kind of like lay down and they're not in the way, they're not blocking the prey or anything like that. Easy to swallow. But if for some reason that prey decides to leave, he can't. Because those inward laying teeth are inward layering. Yeah, so think like an arrow tip, like the barbed end of an arrow tip. Everyone says to leave it in, pulling it out is worse, and it's because it literally hooks onto it. So once you're in the anglerfish's mouth, you're in it.
Accept it.
You're in it. That's it. Death. Good thing they're not after us, thankfully.
Well, honestly, I'm pretty sure a 3-foot anglerfish can eat me very easily.
Yeah.
What am I gonna do?
Yeah, I don't know.
Punch it?
I'd probably. Well, I think we would die from the pressure, actually.
Okay,
before we even get
not
down
if he's
there.
10 feet deep.
True. Or if they, for some reason, decide to come up to the surface.
Please don't, PSA.
Please don't,
I'm begging you.
There's so many creatures that are creepy in the deep sea that just need to stay there. Like, I'm so glad that is the environment they chose to live in and not in, like, the top layer of
Not
the
that
surface.
I have to look at you.
I bet they wouldn't be as freaky looking, though, if they were on the surface. That's kind of how it works.
That's the whole point.
Yeah, that's kind of how it works. On top of this gnarly thought of, like, the teeth kind of trapping their prey, But the anglerfish can also distend or expand both its jaw and its stomach, allowing it to swallow incredibly large prey up to like twice its size.
Oh, like my anaconda?
Yes. So exactly. Like it's able to almost unhinge its jaw. Its jaw that is already the full length of its fucking face.
I don't like that.
Yeah. So that's really convenient for them. And with the stomach being able to distend as well, whenever there is a lot of food in the water, they can actually store it for long periods of time because, again, they're in sometimes some of the harshest environments and finding food can be difficult. Mm-hmm. So when they do find food, they have this ability to store it, which is very convenient. So for their prey, they'll eat anything that they can find, anything that's down there. So primarily little fish, other crustaceans, anything. They are ambush predators, which kind of makes total sense considering they are living in a very energy poor environment. So like if you're on the bottom of the ocean and you're already having to fight these crushing pressures, then you kind of don't want to be an active predator. You're not wanting to swim around and waste that extra energy because it also takes energy to digest and break down your food and swallow your food. So it does make sense why they're ambush predators. And their anatomy is kind of where that name comes from, that anglerfish. The anglerfish, they have a modified dorsal ray, and that dorsal ray is that back, kind of on their backside, and it is called the elysium. And it is the detached and modified first 3 spines of the anterior dorsal fin. So on a lot of dorsal fins, they'll have spines, and the first 3 for anglerfish have been modified in this kind of fishing pole like appendage that just kind of dangles in front of their head. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And at the tip of this elysium is an irregular growth of flesh that actually comes from their eyes.
Ew.
Called the esca. And the esca is kind of weird because they can just move it completely freely. Like they can dangle it around, move it 360 degrees. And the convenience of this is that they'll use it like a fishing lure to entice their prey to come close enough so that they can swallow them whole. Mm-hmm. So they just kind of like dance this little lure in front of their massive teeth-filled mouths until something comes close enough, and then they'll gulp it.
Have you ever seen one in real life? The only one I've seen is on Finding Nemo, you know?
Yes, and that's my next point, because not all escas are the same. So most adult female deep-sea anglerfish will boast a glowing esca at the tip of the elysium.
Queen.
And yep, this is when I want you to think Nemo.
Okay.
Everybody remembers that horrific scene.
Like when they're chasing the goggles down there and it gets caught on something.
P. Sherman Wallaby Way.
43, what is it? 43 something. Oh.
Something. But yeah, no, exactly. That's the scene when they're chasing down into the crevice and it's all of a sudden really dark and Dory sees this magical glowing light come and he's like, ooh.
There they are.
And he sees it dancing around and doing all of these movements. And then as soon as him and Marlin get close enough, they can clearly see that it is a menacing creature with teeth. And that is...
He's just standing there.
Yeah, he's
menacingly.
Menacingly. Well, that was actually not all cinematics, too. That glowing little bit. So some esca will contain a symbiotic bacteria that is the source of this luminescence. So the esca will have it kind of, the bacteria inside of it and around it. So it's kind of all over it. And that's what gives it its glowing hue. So anglerfish themselves are not bioluminescent, which a lot of people did misconceive.
Yeah.
So it's actually just that little esca and the bacteria surrounding it that causes that lucky glow. And this luminescence is used both for attracting their prey and for attracting their mates.
Oh boy, here we go.
Yep. And that's where we move on to their freaky sex.
Freaky sex.
I feel like we need some like sexy sax music in the background of this podcast. Like
saxophone.
Like just some jazz.
You like jazz?
You like jazz? Both of us immediately thought jazz.
You like jazz?
You like jazz. So anglerfish females will use the esca to woo their little guys. And the males, how little? They are 1 inch. Oh!
1 inch to 3
How
feet?
satisfying, right?
1 inch to 3
How
feet?
satisfying, right? 3 centimeters. 1 inch to 3 centimeters. Where 1 inch.
Yeah,
no,
like 1 inch male, 3 feet
yes,
female?
potentially, yeah.
How does that work?
Well, we're about to find out.
Okay.
So, the males, they'll actually, when they find their mate, whenever they find this little lure enticing, they will swim on over and attach themselves to the larger female by biting onto them. So just imagine, yes,
It's like a little
3
parasite.
foot, yes, exactly. It's a 3 foot long anglerfish with a little tiny
Pimple.
pinky size, thumb size thing on the bottom of it. So they'll bite onto them, and once secured, they will be able to internally fertilize their eggs. Yeah, so it just latches on, bites, kind of sends all of the good stuff in there, and the eggs are fertilized. So the freaky part about this, because a little bite never hurt nobody, right? It's not just the biting part
That doesn't
that's
sound
freaky.
very satisfying.
No, especially the 1 inch part. I don't know about that. The freaky part is that in many anglerfish, the males realize that he can then get everything that he needs, nutrition-wise, from his big and juicy sugar mama.
Ew. Why'd you say it like that?
I know. I have to. Ultimately, they become parasitic. So they literally latch on, never release from his mate again, and sometimes they'll actually fuse to their girl for life. Monogamy.
That is the definition.
Yeah, definition of monogamy,
Wow.
for sure. And although this may seem inconvenient, like we're over here kind of like bitching like, I don't know if we'd like that. Think about it. There is a silver lining. With the male attached / fused, she now has what is considered a sperm factory on her body 24/7.
I don't want that.
But if you're in the deep sea environment and you're having to waste energy finding a mate, why not just be like, tap your little guy and be like, hey,
It's
it's time. Wake up. Here you go. It's time to go.
Oh my god.
So yeah, quite convenient when you live in a vast environment.
It's like a button.
It is. Like,
Pregnant.
dee. Yes. Give me a sperm.
Wow.
I know. Wild. Unfortunately, this is not always the case, though. So this freaky sex, it's not always so freaky because there's always exceptions when it comes to biology. And there are actually 4 anglerfish species that make up the genus called Melanocetus. And they actually do not exhibit this type of reproduction strategy. Instead, what the males will do is they'll retain their free swimming independence until adulthood, only taking little bites of the female when it is time to mate. So just a little nibble
So they just
here and there.
Yeah, swim away, and then whenever it's time, do it again.
Come back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. And this has actually only been observed 3 different times, which I feel like 3 different times is still a lot. Because how do
guess.
you just stumble upon this, like in the
I-
wild? Like, how do you observe? How lucky you just watch a male anglerfish go to another one, attach onto it, and then swim away?
Is that what you consider lucky?
Well, yeah, if I was on a dive and I saw that, I would shit myself. That would be wild. What are the odds that you see that?
Yeah.
Just super low. But yeah, so it's been observed 3 times, and none of them have resulted in that permanent attachment.
Huh.
They didn't see a fusing in any of these species.
Yeah.
And there was actually a story that kind of gave the anglerfish some traction, particularly the humpback anglerfish, or Melanocetus johnsoni. And in this story, scientists kind of follow her around on her little like journey, her little exploits. And the most entertaining part for most people was this hapless little male anglerfish kind of fusing to her. Unfortunately, now we know that this story is slightly off because male Melanocetus anglerfish do not fuse permanently. They're one of the 4 species that do not, which is sad
Yeah.
because they got it wrong. But at least they get recognition for their freaky sex. Like,
Yeah,
they still
no.
got the biting action in there.
Yeah.
So kudos for them, even if it was pointed at the wrong species. So
They tried.
they tried.
Thought
They
that
tried.
counts.
Either way, most anglerfish do use this method of reproduction or freaky sex to continue thriving in wherever they want to thrive.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's really all I have for the anglerfish. I find them horrifying. Like, again, most deep sea creatures to me are just gnarly.
They've got to be.
They're gnarly.
Survive down there.
And they are shockingly small. Like, I am surprised that the female gets up to 3 feet.
That's
That's crazy. Or like and not all females get up to 3 feet. Not all of them do.
Biggest,
yeah, it's just like the biggest recorded one that we've seen. And you really won't see them up on the surface, or at least like the deep sea with the
so
light
it's not
up
something I have to
Esca.
worry about?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Unless you're in like a submarine, if you go to see the Titanic, you may see one.
If you make it down there.
If you make it down. I heard they're doing another journey down there.
That.
Yeah, what the... Like, we're going to prove that it's a lot safer now. Are we going to have a round 2? Are we? I mean, we've made expeditions down there before, so I'm not sure. Yeah. Anyways, tangent. All right. Well, now we shall move into the safe zone.
The safe zone.
We'll eventually have a theme song for this.
I don't know. I kind of like doing this.
I do too, though.
All right. So I'm going to start us off in the safe zone. The seahorse did make it. I'd like to welcome the seahorse to the safe zone.
Yay!
Yay! I did not plan this. Obviously, I planned to choose the seahorse for their freaky sex, but to stay on par with freaky sex, dried seahorses, which are sold in traditional Chinese medicine, act as Viagra. Yeah.
I almost spit out my water on my laptop.
Good coincidence.
Oh my gosh, what the heck?
They aid in freaky sex, if you know what I mean.
They were meant to be on this episode.
Oh, yeah.
That's what that's telling me.
So Viagra is a pill used for erectile dysfunction and premature ejaculation.
Or large orgies.
So like I said, it's practiced in traditional Chinese medicine, and these little dried seahorses are also prescribed for arthritis, aging, and asthma.
So I need to get myself some dry seahorses for aging? Is that what do you do? Do you eat them?
It's ground up into a powder, or I guess you can munch on it, be my guest. But,
I wonder if it's like eating dried seaweed.
No.
I could not.
Well, I told you they're nothing but bony plates, so have fun with that.
Oh.
That's worse than a crouton.
I wonder if they'd be good like dog chews.
I don't know, your dog need Viagra?
Ooh, I wouldn't want that. At least she's a girl dog. I wouldn't see it.
She'd just be
going. She does like to hump, which is wild. But a lot of female dogs do, I feel like. It's a dominance thing.
So there's no published scientific research to back these claims about the Viagra, the aging, the arthritis, the asthma. But their uses go all the way back to 700 AD.
Whoa.
So, I mean...
That's enough research for me.
Somebody's using them.
Yeah, that's enough research for me.
So Hong Kong is the world's largest trading hub, while Thailand is the leading provider and exporter. So,
are there any rules and regulations for it?
Yeah, so seahorse trading has technically been outlawed because of the detrimental effects it has to their population.
Yeah, like the whole ivory trade too.
But, I mean, they are a protected species, so there are consequences and fines.
Fantastic.
But it's such a hard thing to track, you know? I mean, they're so tiny, and they get stuck in trawling nets, fishermen, so it's kind of like one of those things where, yes, it's illegal, but you're never going to abolish it. Yeah. I mean, especially in the Chinese trade, it's always going to be there.
I mean, same with shark fins and whaling and all sorts of stuff. As much as we try to put regulations... It's tough.
Yeah. Next time, if you want to skip out on a gas station little blue pill, try a dried seahorse.
Try an illegal dried seahorse
Let
instead.
me know.
I wonder what are in those pills at the gas station. I don't know. What if it is dried seahorses?
You know, it might be.
Maybe that's how it gets its color.
If anybody's tried it, let us know.
Maybe don't let us know. I don't know if I want to invite that into us. If you've tried dry seahorses and you had a reaction, that I would like to know. That I would for sure like to know. So cool. That's awesome that they made it into the safe zone.
Yeah.
Go seahorses.
Go seahorses.
Yeah. I'm shocked because the anglerfish also made it into the safe zone.
All right. What you got?
I don't know how these creepy guys can be beneficial for us at all.
Who is testing these suckers?
How are we getting them?
Yeah, well, that's true.
Yeah. I have so many questions. But So anglerfish, they actually played a huge role in the production of insulin.
Really?
Yeah, dead ass. Like the whole insulin, diabetes, all of that.
Oh,
Yes,
nice.
insulin, the big I. So when I was doing the research, I found a report in 1922, so way back. So there's good amount of evidence for it. But they were able to publish methods to extract insulin from the pancreatic tissues of the anglerfish and other teleosts, or bony fish.
Mm-hmm.
And specifically within this deep sea Atlantic anglerfish. So that was kind of the start of them looking at it. There was another study in 1972 that took those methods and expanded upon them, kind of made them a little bit easier, a little bit more efficient. And they found that an intermediate in the biosynthesis or the creation of insulin was able to be isolated from the anglerfish, and it showed to have a similar structure of insulin with a few beneficial add-ons. And I won't get into those because it will get really jargony and messy really fast. Right. So again, 1982, move forward again 10 years, scientists are able to extract a glucagon. Is that it? Glucagon?
Sounds like a Pokemon.
It does sound like a Pokemon. Glucagon gene from the anglerfish's pancreatic easlets, or easlets. They're like small, densely packed groups of a variety of different cell types. And it's convenient with the anglerfish because instead of it being like tucked and hidden away, they are kind of separated. So it's easier for the scientists to get to those easlets. But anyways, they were able to extract this glucagon gene from the anglerfish, then put that gene into bacteria to produce incredible amounts of the human glucagon protein.
Whoa.
Yeah. So it's like they take the framework from the anglerfish, input it into something that can enhance the numbers, which aka the bacteria, right? And it is able to produce something that is beneficial to us.
Now, who would look at this demon of a fish and be like, let me extract your glucagons?
Yeah. How did they even figure it out? That's it. But you never know. I mean,
choice of specimen.
I mean, how do people figure out anything? You just kind of start looking at it and it dives deeper and deeper. That's how this whole podcast has been for us too, True. Right? Is every time we look at something, you find them put into a time capsule or something.
Wow.
But anyways, the whole significance of this is that people with type 1 diabetes can get treatment, essentially. There is a downside, there is a flaw to this recombinant hormone, and that is that it actually degrades in water. So it's not foolproof. And because it degrades in water, the FDA has only marketed it officially for like the emergency treatment of severe hypoglycemia in 1998. So it started 1922, and the FDA actually marketed it in 1998.
So just don't get it wet. I don't see the problem.
Yeah, I don't know how they... I
mean,
I guess with it being degrading in water, like,
I mean, as soon as it
risky.
hits humidity, I'm sure that just...
It's done.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's done. Well, and with it degrading in water, we are majority water.
I mean, I guess.
So I wonder if that was the main reason why. I'm not a doctor. Okay? I'm not a doctor. That's above me. But it is still really fascinating that this deep sea creature, like, I never would have thought that he would have made it to the safe zone.
Mm-hmm.
I knew he wouldn't make it to the danger zone as much as I wanted him to because they're very freaky. But not freaky and harmful to us. Not harmful to us.
Safe zone.
So safe zone it is. Yeah, they got it. Which, good for them. I know now we'll look at insulin for like cows and other stuff. But it is cool to know that one of the first were anglerfish.
That is very cool.
Yes.
Would not have been on my bingo card.
No, but I wonder if that would be like an SAT question.
What was the first animal used to test? And you're like...
I feel like I would laugh if I saw anglerfish.
I know, you're like, that's so bizarre I would pick that answer.
Yeah, you're like, let me just...
Is that a trick?
Is this a trick? Well, now you have another cool party fact to tell, too, from this episode.
Is anyone writing these down?
I know.
Quite a few.
I know. Someone needs to have like in their notes app, just be like, all of the
Fun
party
fact
facts.
number 17.
Yeah. Oh, man. Great. Well, that's all I got for the anglerfish and the safe zone, all of that good jazz. So,
All right, as we wrap up this episode of the Freaky Fauna Files podcast, the chicken and I want to thank all you guys for listening today. From dad bod seahorses to deep sea fishing anglerfish, we hope you've enjoyed exploring some freaky sex in the ocean.
Ooh-wee. Remember, the adventure doesn't have to end here. The next episode is a Q&A session.
Woo, send it in.
That means we need you to send us all of your freaky fauna questions. I can't even do it seriously. Ba-da-da-da. Anyway, send us your questions. We need them. And we want to answer them, and we want to see what you're thinking about.
It could be any question related to an animal, any sort of biome. It could be ocean, jungle, desert.
Literally whatever.
You name it.
Yeah, cave systems, whatever. Or if you want us to do a short series for, I don't know, one of your local animals or something like that, hit us up. Hit us up.
Don't forget to follow us on social media at Freaky Fauna Files for updates, behind-the-scenes content, and discussions about all things weird and wonderful in the world of freaky fauna.
Until next time, keep those eyes peeled for the unexpected, and may your curiosity continue to lead you on an extraordinary journey. Thanks for listening from all over, and stay freaky.